With that, I'm going to ask fund managers Mary Wallace, Hannon with Regions to come up, who was so kind to give us the $15,000 cash prize that we're going to see today with the pitches. And then Yellow Ventures, my team as well. So if you could all come up, I'm going to give them a few minutes to introduce themselves, and these are our future funds of Mississippi. So please give them a round while they come up and introduce themselves. First up, we have the Yellow Ventures team, who I've had the privilege to partner with over the last year. I'm going to let them introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about what we've been doing.
Hey everyone, good morning. My name is Mackenzie Cruz. I'm a partner with Yellow Ventures. We are SSBCI experts, if you will. We manage that in South Carolina, Mississippi, and Louisiana.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Mo Cruz. I am her dad, as you probably can tell. We work together. We've been doing this for about 4 years. We're happy to partner with Lindsey. We do handle all SSBCI deployment in South Carolina, she said Louisiana and Alabama. Mississippi, apologize. And we're honored and glad to be here.
Morning, everybody. Name's Kwamena Aidoo. Most people call me Kwam. I'm a co-founder and managing partner at Corridor Ventures, an early-stage venture capital fund investing in local founders solving global problems across the U.S. Southeast. And we are one of Innovate Mississippi's first fund recipients.
I'm Emily Wykle. I work for Generator. We are also an early-stage venture investor in Startup Accelerator platform. We operate SSBCI funds around the country. And in the South, we're in Alabama and now Mississippi.
Good morning. Hey. Marcia Hooper. I'm with Branch Venture Group, and we are an early-stage venture capital company in Boston, Massachusetts, and we focus on food and ag investing. So we invest nationally. We're really excited to see what's going on down here in Mississippi in the food and ag world, and look forward to meeting a number of entrepreneurs working. So thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Shaka Rasheed. I'm a general partner with Open Opportunity Fund. We are a B2B SaaS-focused technology investor across venture and growth equity. $100 million first fund, fully invested, and we're in a market with a $200 million fund too. And the pride of our firm is that the overwhelming majority of our investments are outside of Silicon Valley. So 70% of our investments in our first fund outside the Valley. We're headquartered in Atlanta with offices in New York and Miami, and it's such a pleasure to be here.
Hi everyone, I'm Mary Wallace Hannon. I manage operations and communications for the Regions Foundation in Birmingham, Alabama. Regions Foundation is a nonprofit initiative of Regions Bank, and we support Regions Bank's 15-state footprint through grant making and impact investing. We've got 3 strategic priorities, which are education and workforce readiness, community and economic development, and financial wellness. It's great to be here.
Thank you so much. We are thrilled to have Corridor Ventures as our first fund. We signed a $1.5 million check to them. Not actually signed the check, but you know what I mean. And so we're thrilled to welcome them to the ecosystem officially. And then the other funds the board has approved, and we're hoping to sign those by the end of the year or maybe early next year. But the point is that they're here, they're investing, and we're all really excited to partner with each other. So thank you, everyone. They agreed to be judges too, which is helpful. Okay, one more thing I'm going to say that I forgot to mention earlier is Mississippi, along with this SSBCI money, was given a $5 million grant under an SBOP, which is a branch under the SSBCI. It's a great program. What we've been able to do with it is create a capital readiness program. The capital readiness program is layered with our funds. And it basically gives them, the founders who are looking to get funding through InvestMS, an opportunity to meet with me and Yellow Ventures team to go through a capital readiness strategy session. And what that means is if you're looking to raise money, there's a lot of terms, there's a lot of strategy that goes into that. How does it affect your cap table? We can work through that with you and kind of help you figure out how to be attractive and set yourself up to not only attract these funds, angel investors in our state, but how to be attractive nationally, and then not only raise this round, but think about what's the next round. So it's a great program. We also offer up to $2,500 in legal fees if you want to convert to a C Corp or work on your data room and help with closing documents. So if anyone's interested in the InvestMS program, let me know. I would love to go on and on about it. But it's a great program, and we're hoping to get a lot of funding out in the next few years. So with that, I'm going to open it up to our first founder, Chelsea, with CardFlow.
Hi everyone, I'm Chelsea Rogers, founder of CardFlow Financial, a smarter, simpler way to manage multiple credit cards. Managing multiple credit cards should require logging into 5 different apps. CardFlow makes it simple. We put everything in one app, allowing users to make one monthly payment that's then automatically split across all their cards. Our goal is simple: make credit card management effortless, not stressful. The average American has four or more credit cards with an APR of 25%. Logging into multiple apps, submitting payments, balancing due dates, and APRs can cost users hundreds of dollars a year if they have missed payments and late fees. So the problem isn't discipline, it's disorganization. No centralized platform exists to help them manage it all efficiently in one place. CardFlow fixes that. We put everything in one app. The user selects a payoff strategy like Avalanche or Snowball, and then they submit a payment that CardFlow automatically splits to all the cards, helping them pay faster and smarter. People don't necessarily have the time to figure out pay down strategies for their credit cards, so with our smart payment logic, our automated payoff strategies, and our secure account linking, we've done the heavy lifting for them. So here's how it works. Users log into the app, they link their credit cards via Plaid, select a payoff strategy, and then CardFlow's split payment logic sends it to the right card at the right time, empowering the everyday user. There are over 215 million US adults with credit cards, totaling a $19 to $25 billion market. Our serviceable market, the 98 million US adults with 3 or more credit cards, makes up about $8.8 to $11.8 billion of that market. If we target and capture just 1 to 2% of that, that'll give us $236 million annual recurring revenue. We don't need everyone with a credit card, just those tired of juggling multiple cards looking for a simpler way. We offer a $10 a month or $90 a year subscription model. This helps keep CardFlow accessible while maintaining strong margins. Users can come in through our referral model and they stay for automation and payoff tracking. Then they graduate to coaching and credit optimization as they become debt-free. We're pre-launch, but momentum is strong. We've already raised $50,000 for our current round, have a wait list of 70 plus users, and have a working MVP. This allows us to reach our target market, and talk to our testers who love our app and being able to see and manage all of their cards in one place. And our strategy is simple. We meet our users where they are, on Meta, Google, and Reddit, through paid ads, organic reach, and partnership and influencer partnerships. So unlike other apps that charge users to only track or lend, CardFlow works with their existing cards, helping them pay down the debt that they already have. Where they're focused on tracking, we're focused on action. We're a small but mighty team built for execution. I bring over 10 years experience in marketing, product strategy, and web development. Our CTO brings over 15 years experience in cybersecurity and government-grade infrastructure, and our senior engineer, former PayPal and Microsoft, brings over 10 years experience in payments and engineering. We're pre-revenue, so this chart shows a projection of our go-to-market and our 36-month run. So this allows us to see how we will build revenue after our Q4 2025 launch, and our break-even point is around 24 months out of that 36-month runway. So we've opened our $500,000 pre-seed round. This will allow us to reach $146,000 in monthly recurring revenue within 36 months. This will go 40% to project and engineering, 32% to marketing and growth, and 28% to ops, legal, and compliance. This will allow us to scale safely while maintaining the security and integrity of our app. So we are focused on traction, and we'll accomplish this through our low-cost growth models and our trust channels that we will build with our users. So, as I said, I'm Chelsea Rogers, founder of CardFlow Financial, where we are building smarter, simpler payments for our users. So let's build the future of credit card payments together. Thank you.
Great job. You didn't even have to clap her off the stage. Okay, I'm sorry, we only have one mic, so we have 5 minutes for Q&A.
Chelsea, thank you. Great presentation. I have a question, because this is the backside of the credit card. Do you do anything to help the consumers select which credit card maybe of the 4 that they own they should be using? And how about talk a little bit about the front end of that process?
Yes, so we work with the cards they already have. We don't necessarily help them select which credit cards to use. The credit cards that they already have, they'll link them within our app, and then we help them with payoff strategies and help pay down the cards smarter and faster.
I was wondering how you're thinking about the fact that if the platform works, if I understand it correctly, you'd be like working yourself out of customers, right?
So we're actually building this to grow with our customers. We're building this for the type A person who loves to have everything together. They love organization, and they love to have seamless tools built around their life and their lifestyle. As customers pay off their debt, we then phase them into credit optimization. We plan to scale to include reward systems. So when they walk into a shopping center, it shows them which card to use for which rewards. So these are down the road, but this is our goal to have retention. So after they pay off debt, they stay just for the automation. If they leave our app, this is how we make it sticky. If they leave our app, they still have to go back to paying those credit cards across different apps. So this allows them to still keep everything in one place. Even if they pay it off, they know they only have to go to one app to manage it all. So if they back out, they're back to where they started, which can then go back to the same cycle of the late fees, the missed payments. So that's how we keep them engaged.
I'm curious with a 500 pre-seed effort, right? Rarely is the case that plans stick to what you anticipate for them to be. Can you discuss ways that you thought through contingencies on that 500 burden faster than you may have anticipated?
Yeah, so we've built lean up until this point. We plan to continue to build lean. As we launch, as we get the new data that we need and begin to actually place our real numbers, not just our expected anticipated numbers in there, we are open to pivot it. We want to do what is best for CardFlow, what is best for our users, and keep our build lean and keep our launch and product scalable and manageable across the board, not only for our company, but also for the user. So that's kind of how we're looking at handling that.
Can you elaborate on your customer acquisition strategy and how you built your waitlist today?
Yes, so I built my wait list primarily through organic social, word of mouth, social media, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook. That's how I acquired majority of the current waitlist users. And our CAC right now is projected around $20 per person, and that's going to be for post-launch. Right now, it's been strictly organic, so just doing Facebook posts, doing stories, talking about it, word of mouth, attending community events, helping people set up that way. So we've kept costs low pre-launch, and we plan to continue that model as we move forward. With the, intention of bringing ads in, so that'll probably help us reach that still standard $20 CAC that we're looking to target post-launch.
Your growth strategy is centered around engaging consumers directly. Has there been any consideration in the scale model to perhaps go directly to some of the banks or other entities that you may get?
Yes, so we do plan to start with our customer model, the $10 a month, $90 a year subscription model, but we do plan to expand into B2B through white label, API, and licensing. This will allow them to integrate with their own banking platforms, our split payment logic, and they can help users with their own payout strategies and everything like that we do. So we do have a B2B model that we plan to implement later down the road, but we want to master our B2C first and then grow into that B2B.
I'm curious whether your platform is expected to improve people's credit ratings, and talk a little bit, if these are the laggards that just don't get around to it, I assume that impacts their credit score. So if you talk a little bit about what you expect.
Yes, so we do expect our users' credit scores to increase. Like I said, them managing multiple credit card payments across different apps, I personally experienced this doing my own budget. I thought I had all of my cards scheduled out, ready to go. The next day, I got hit with a late fee from a card that I forgot to pay. Not because I didn't have the funds to pay it, but because I just missed it. And so that's why I built the app, to put it all in one place. So ultimately, it'll help users not get the late payments, not have a drop in their credit scores, maintain good credit health, and ultimately boost their credit ratings.
Thank you. That's all the time I have. Now we're going to welcome Hand Technologies to the stage. Give them a round of applause.
All right, well, thank you everybody for the opportunity to be here. It's always a pleasure to talk about the exciting work that we're doing at Hand Technologies, where we are innovating in the next generation of high-performance chemistry, and we are revolutionizing the way that carbon is currently being manufactured. Now, carbon, whether you guys realize it or not, it's a material that you guys deal with on an almost daily basis. You're probably the most familiar with it in the form of carbon fiber composites. It's utilized in bikes, high-performance vehicles, drones, wallets, phone cases, and the list goes on, right? But it's not just limited to being utilized for these consumer products. Carbon is a mineral that is actually critical for our nation's economic, energy, and defense needs. And Hand Technologies is making it way more efficient to make this critical material. We are exclusively commercializing our Boda resin chemistry, which is the most practical and efficient carbon precursor that exists in the world today. And so what we're proposing is not an entirely new material. It's just a much faster route to a material that's widely circulated in the economy today and makes up a $50 billion market opportunity. What we've demonstrated is that Hand's Boda resins can double the production rate and the performance of carbon components that are already utilized today. And our customers need this because in the carbon industry, it takes people 6 to 9 months to manufacture an optimally dense part. Hand has demonstrated that we can cut down this time from 9 months to a matter of weeks. And so that's a lot of value to be captured by our customers. And the opportunity that we bring to you today is one with high growth potential, one with proven customer traction, and one that is capable of venture scale growth in the next 5 years. We've worked very hard to secure this opportunity since our inception. We've aggressively pursued non-dilutive funds. Over $7 million we've secured, with $5 million secured for the first quarter of 2026. And what I'm going to show you in these next few slides is the work that we've done on our manufacturing process to supply this material and the customer engagements. Beginning with customer engagements, we've had our product validated by multiple customers and DoD agencies. Here are 2 multi-million-dollar efforts that have ranked our resin as the most efficient carbon precursor in the commercial landscape. So this is the real deal. Proven, it's already sold over $110,000 worth of material in more than one market space, with $1 million in letters of intent to purchase going into 2026. Our manufacturing method, we have invested a lot to make our manufacturing process both scalable and economical, and we've had it validated by 3 separate independent specialty chemical manufacturers. So this is a proven process. So going into 2026, our go-to-market strategy has already been de-risked and is readily deployable. We are going to focus on increasing our production scale so that we could lower the cost of goods sold, we could become profitable by 27, and we are going to focus on rolling out a tiered product system that's going to allow us to penetrate multiple markets. And of course, we're definitely going to focus on providing the highest quality of tech support so that our customers have the best experience with our materials. Now, diving into the specifics of the financials, what I want to show you are 3 different sales price targets that we've identified that if we hit, we're going to unlock major volume orders. And we are confident that in 6 months from funding, our sales price can at least capture 2 of these major opportunities, being at $300 a kilo at a ton scale production. And what this means is that in the next 4 years, if we execute, we will generate over $40 million of annual recurring revenue, and if we hit our lowest sales target, we can unlock hundreds of millions of dollars in annual recurring revenue. So from an exit strategy perspective, we're likely looking at either a merger or an acquisition, and we've got options here from customers, manufacturers, chemical conglomerates, and we've got a lot of interest. Now, I know that you're not just investing in the technology, you're also investing in the founders. We are the perfect team to execute on this. My co-founder, Dr. Dennis Smith, is a seasoned founder. He's a world-renowned polymer chemist, and he is the original inventor of the Boda resin system. I have developed that system for all these commercial outlets, and with our broader team, we have over 200 years of combined relevant business experience. So today we're asking for $1 million for a seed round, for a bridge seed round. We've already secured $800K in soft commitments, and so we're looking to close this in the next 2 months. We're really excited with that. I'll open the floor to any questions you might have, and thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you for that. 2 questions for you to kick things off. Is your Boda resin used for growing carbon or for making the end products that use carbon fiber?
So it's made to use carbon, and there's different grades of carbon that we can make out of it. So carbon is not just one term, there's different flavors. And we can produce many different flavors so far. So it's what we provide is the raw material. We provide the customers with a full data sheet on how they will process it. And so if they want to make carbon fibers, they could do so. If they want to make high-performance brake discs, they could do so. And so right now we're mostly in defense and aerospace is our focus for the short term.
Second quick question. Can you elaborate on your manufacturing strategy and how much you want to build in-house versus like outsource?
Yeah, so we are asset light, we are outsourcing this. Our value lies in the IP. So we're protected both from a process standpoint, from a manufacturing standpoint, and from a composition of matter going into these new products that we're rolling out. So yeah, we're rolling with 2 manufacturers right now, both domestically and internationally.
So a couple of questions. One, what does Boda mean?
Boda is an acronym for the specific chemical soup, name that we call, which we call bis-orthodinylarium. But you guys probably don't care about that.
Always great to hear. Talk about competition. What do precursors cost now? Are you a premium to what they have? Are you trying to reach cost parity? Or are you below?
Excellent question. We are a premium. The current competitors are significantly cheaper, but what this means for customers, because they have a low conversion efficiency, is that our customers have to totally engineer around these low-performing material properties. That's what leads to the 6 to 9 month lead times and the exorbitant costs in this industry.
And can your precursor be used in 3D printing of carbon parts?
The value in this resin is that not only is it high performing, but it's also very processable. We have not tried it for 3D printing because we haven't had, all of our attention right now is defense and aerospace. We're trying to be focused so that we can capture this market first. But yeah, there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to 3D print this material.
I was curious, just thinking through next steps of growth. So you mentioned defense and aerospace, initial target market. In your thinking of the horizon, what's kind of next? What do you anticipate to be the next areas of growth that you would seek to target, and why?
Yeah, excellent question. So the ultimate goal that we want to get to is the specialty additives, because these are extremely high volume. They're lower margin, but that's where you unlock the door for these hundreds of millions of annual revenue sales. Defense and aerospace, it's a play that we think is important, but it's also an industry that could afford our initial high costs during our early production period.
So I saw on there that you have 8 employees. Is that total? I'm trying to figure out if there's a workforce play that goes along with this.
Yeah, so we're currently at 10 employees and contractors and 4 full-time employees.
I'm curious, why has nobody else developed this particular resin? Like what is unique about it?
So my partner is the original inventor of this resin chemistry. There's no other group that has the expertise that we have on this resin chemistry. And so it's kind of a situation where, we may not be the best chemists in the world, but we did invent this resin system that does have an undeniably higher performance ceiling than anything in the market. So we're just
Yeah.
first.
And who owns the IP?
So we have IP that Mississippi State owns. We have an exclusive license on that. We have IP that Hand Technologies owns. And so we really have 3 critical patents right now.
I wanted to double click down traction. So I thought I heard you say we had 36,000 sold goods, and that there was less than 10 for over $1 million more.
Yes.
Just a little bit more granularity into where the sourcing of that $1 million is coming from across and so
Yeah.
the traction pattern.
So those are the customers that we've penetrated in the aerospace and defense. They've got contracts, they've worked with our material already, and they are saying, hey, we're ready to move on beyond just lab scale testing. We're going to do our own pilot production of these aerospace parts, and so they're either on their own IRAD or on their government contracts. But I think for the 2 customers that we're engaging for the $1 million opportunity, that's government contracts that they will be. We have 2 that are starting in the first quarter of 26. So our production for our first ton is underway right now. We're going through all the QC, we're going through all the initial inefficiencies and refining this process, but we're on track to produce our first ton by the end of the first quarter of 26.
And what are you projecting as your gross margin?
Gross margin, so for the next year, it will be low, but I'm confident that we could.
Define low.
So we're going to be making a 15% loss, 15 to 20% loss. But after we work out these inefficiencies with our first, ton scale production, which is typical, then we should be making slim margins going up to 20 to 30%. By 27 is our target.
Okay, that's all the time I have.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to be kind to the judges and give them just a second to catch up. This is TreeTracker.
When did be nice for you to be able to manage your business and be kept in the loop anywhere in the world? Well, that's what we're doing with Forest Land Management. I'm George Banzhaf with Dr. Dan Lee, and we're the co-founders of TreeTracker. When we look at the U.S. forest market, including hunting, fishing, and other outdoor recreation, it's approximately $1 trillion annually. While the forest industry represents the largest percentage of these categories, the publicly available mobile app solutions are coming from the recreation industry and not from the industry experts. The problem arises when outside industry apps provide fragmented and incomplete information and communication for all the people required in managing the forest to achieve all the landowners' goals. But this has been what's available. As a result, the forest industry has been adopting backpacking, hunting, and other outdoor recreation and real estate apps. And it provides incomplete solutions. It provides that they don't communicate well together and they don't all use live data. And with such a long list of needs and user groups that need to communicate to manage a forest, it creates duplicated effort and inefficiency at every step. For our 1,500 customers currently, we have combined all the useful functions and put it into one aspect, one simple app. We've added forestry-specific tools and industry business logic. In the last 3 years, we've developed more than 20 functions that are needed in the forest industry and combined them all into one place, including our in-house GIS and dynamic database that provides our ability to add new forest reporting as needed and customer requested. Linking this to our mobile app solution with offline mode, turn-by-turn directions, the ability to our custom sharing to other contractors and other stakeholders, and forest industry specific tools like inventory and data gathering and field reporting are all in our TreeTracker system currently. Without targeting any specific user groups, we've achieved examples of widespread adoption. Universities like Auburn incorporating us in their forestry classroom, and the Mississippi Forestry Association had us build a custom tool that reduced what used to take about 4 days into 4 hours for their stakeholders, and they embedded that on their website and linked it to our public TreeTracker system. We have a paid tier subscription level of $100 to $1,200, which allows an entry point for any user. April this year, we began a dedicated test case on sales and got positive results not only on new paid accounts, but also daily, weekly, and monthly returning of customers that are making TreeTracker part of their continued ongoing business. Some customer feedback is included. Sharing with contractors has been a game changer. Improved communication and decision making. So easy to use. And one of the best technology software decisions I've made. Our value proposition includes a large addressable market, superior product that solves a big problem, a low competitive price point, and an easy to use system. Our next stage focuses on 2 years of expanding on our existing user base, fostering early adoption and word-of-mouth engagement. Our post-funding goal is a year 3 revenue of $2.5 million, with the anticipation of an exponential growth in the years to follow. In addition, we are currently adding and nearing completion on several new tools that will add additional revenue streams. These will be funneled directly into our next phase, which will be an online marketplace that will be run by dynamic tools and our professional users that we have pulled in on the next phase that we're doing. Think beyond just listing sites and easy-to-use tools like Zillow and TurboTax, but combining these into a dual revenue customer acquisition approach, providing SaaS industry software with a tool-rich marketplace that connects all of the users into one place. We're launching this funding round at $1.25 million to grow our next phase. And TreeTracker has already earned a solid reputation in the forest industry, and we look to grow going forward. We'd like to thank Mississippi in general for our higher education, the businesses that have believed in us in Mississippi and were our foundation for growing, and different business tools like Innovate Mississippi, Small Business Development Council, and the East Center of Mississippi State that have all helped us along the way.
Thank you.
Selfishly, I'm going to start by saying we are launching a forestry accelerator in Q1 next year, and I'd love to talk more to you about that. My question, just to start off, is you talked about all these potential kind of categories of users. I'm wondering, I want to understand sort of who your primary user is getting started. Like, who would be the category of people that would be using this kind of from the get-go?
We were actually surprised initially. We thought that it would be very small landowners and small consultants that would be attracted to us at the beginning. But our very first customer was probably the largest timber buyer in Mississippi and Louisiana. And so right from the gate, industry totally accepted us. We actually thought we would kind of upset them by disrupting, giving away information and things, and competitive edge, but they totally brought it in. And from there, it has expanded out all the way from small consultants to medium-sized companies. But we have had groups like Georgia Pacific come in and utilize us. And Yellowwood over in Alabama uses us, and groups like that. But the universities are definitely coming at us because it makes their learning in the classroom much quicker.
I potentially have a follow-up question to that. I was curious in the same way. You mentioned universities, contractors, work through landowners as kind of the customer. Can you sort of intelligence on the elasticity of their demand? So the willingness to pay more or less? Can you just educate and inform me a bit about the customer segments and how they buy?
Sure, absolutely. So I have this appendix slide here that kind of talks about bucketed different user group potentials. So our private landowners, we think there's more than that in the forest industry, but we think there's about 5.7 million potentials out there. To touch on the price point there, that's why we go from $100 to $1,200. And we have made it unique where instead of saying it's all or nothing and have a high price point, if we charge what this is actually worth to just a small landowner that's not going to use all these tools and it's all or nothing, they would never buy it. It would be too expensive. So we made a $100 offer there, turns on the nationwide parcel data, which everybody wants, and so they can shut off certain apps and consolidate those funds and funnel it into here and actually have cost savings because they're paying for less tools all in one place. So the way we charge that is, since it's a forestry is an acres-based industry, we charge by how many acres you store there. And that causes a limitation for these smaller users to not be able to take advantage of us and the larger users that need to pay us more to be able to offset the gain.
And we also have a free account that for tiny users to start using us, costing nothing for them.
That's why I keep it around. That's a really important point, right? So the free account is 200 acres or less, and that is not just pulled out of thin air. There's 9.7 million private landowners that own forest land, and of those, 3.6 million are between 10 and 200 acres. They're not going to pay necessarily for this, but it's very important that there's an avenue for them to be able to create an account, connect with the professionals, and be able to see what we're doing and get permissions and be able to sign off on different contracting activities.
This may tie into what you were talking about, but I'm curious if your app allows people that want to purchase timbers to identify people that might have mature timbers that they could buy and maybe even enter into some kind of contract negotiation in regard to timbering needs.
That's our next phase after this one, and we are already planning the development of it, and so we're hoping in 2027 to launch a dynamic marketplace where you can take these different mapping and communication tools and then be able to select I just want this one stand, have pictures tied to it, have some data, put it into the marketplace, and now anybody can then say, this wood's available. And when we think about like Mississippi as an example, there's about 400,000 private landowners that own forest land here. They all struggle to reach the market, right? And so if we could create a marketplace to where, how do we connect this natural resource and make it available to connect to the final industry and the mills, now we can have discussions on a state level or a regional level of bringing in new industry because we're connecting the raw material to the final product.
And in your app now, can you track pestilence? So the ash borer, can you start to look at where disease might be coming to either prevent it, cut down forests, not to allow it not to spread? I'm just curious. There are a lot of issues around health.
So to touch on that, we are now processing monthly satellite imagery and making that that'll be a future add-on for customers. So being able to track, okay, vegetative health that's coming along the way, we're utilizing satellites and processing it monthly. And we're actually doing a process of removing the clouds where some of these others that are putting it out there, we have clouds everywhere. We're kind of doing some magic behind the scenes to remove that so that you can see underneath that layer as well. That's
all the
great.
time we have. Thank you so much. While I let the judges catch up, I just wanted to say, if there's anyone in the audience, again, who's interested in investment with InvestMS, a great way to get started is to reach out to the Innovate team. Tony Jeff, David Collins, Victor Robinson, Abel Dixon. If you're here, you want to stand up and just wave. We want to thank you as well for all the amazing work that you guys do. There's so much good resources here in Mississippi, and I'll just toot their horn, and a lot of it starts with them. So reach out to them, and they can kind of tell you what the path looks like and how to get started. We just came from No VC, No Problem, with a great panel on regional partnerships that told you, there is a path to funding. Sometimes that path can be long, sometimes it can be short. As we can see, these companies have great traction. So we want to help you gain that traction and make those connections and get to be on the stage next year. So with that, I will go ahead and invite our last company, Legalease, to the stage.
How y'all doing? I'm gonna give my business partner a minute to get me set. Here we go. My name is Lawrence Blackmon. I'm an attorney, and I'm also a state representative. But just for a moment this morning, I'm gonna take you all back to a period before those titles, when I was just a student at Howard University full of dreams, ambition, and somebody would say a little too much confidence. One Friday night after a party, nature called in an alley. And the next thing I knew, I had a charge on my record. Just like that, my dreams of law school felt like they were turning to dust. One moment, one decision, and suddenly I was staring down a future I thought might slip away. Now, here's what that moment taught me. That I was just one of 35 million Americans carrying the weight of a past mistake. A simple misdemeanor. Maybe it's partying a little too hard, playing music too loud, or even underage drinking can turn into a lifetime of consequences, shutting people out of jobs, homes, and education. But here's the thing. Getting your record cleared isn't some privilege or trick. It's a right. A right to rebuild and a right to reclaim your future. But here's the thing. If you want a fresh start, that's going to cost you $3,000, maybe more. Or you can try navigating the endless maze of red tape alone. Now, Legalease has the solution. Our AI-powered legal assistant, Loam, is your personal guide through unnecessarily complicated processes. No legal mumbo-jumbo, no sky-high attorney's fees. With record clearing as our beachhead, our grand vision is to empower everyday Americans to handle non-complex legal matters on their own without an attorney, at a fraction of the cost. With us, that $3,000 fresh start becomes a reality for just $150. And don't just call this social impact either. Record clearing alone is a $7 billion market, and unlike traditional law firms, weighed down by high overhead and manual processes, our platform is fully online, AI-driven, and built to scale. Now, we proved this model in Mississippi during our beta test, where demand broke our MVP after processing north of 300 expungements. Going forward, we're focusing on states with progressive expungement laws to build momentum toward our mission. 1 million expungements by 2030. That's 1 million lives changed and 1 million families with greater economic opportunity. Since launching our 2.0 just a few short months ago, we have onboarded over 3,000 users from across the country, upgraded to bank-level security, and empowered Wilma to handle SMS and voice support. Now, our team, more than just a blend of legal minds, tech experts, and innovators, we are the embodiment of product founder fit. And so, here's our vision. Imagine a world where one mistake doesn't lock you out for life. A world where legal help doesn't cost an arm and a leg. And you no longer need an attorney like me to understand the legalese. That's the world we're creating. But to reach the millions of Americans who need us, we need partners who share this vision. So stand with us. Together, we are changing the world, one record at a time, because everyone deserves the chance to write their own story. Thank you. I love a mic. I've never met one that I didn't like. But at this time, I want y'all to give it up for my co-founder, Marcia Hooper. We'll answer any questions.
So I'm curious, large language models are becoming pervasive in this space, right, really? And so why thank you versus generic direct pathway for the services you offer?
Well, each state has very unique laws around expungement and around record clearing. So using a general large language model is going to lead to a lot of inaccuracies. The workflows about, every state has a slightly different workflow, and we built our platform to support that and be dynamic depending on what state you go into. So if you just went to ChatGPT, you would get very general information. You wouldn't get specific information regarding your state. And we look at that as an advantage that we have in terms of what we built.
My question is about customer acquisition. Customer acquisition.
Yes.
Do y'all do outbound, and what's the law around that?
Yeah, so we don't do any sales. This is not a sales-driven thing. We don't have a sales team or anything. We use a hybrid approach of traditional marketing and digital marketing as well. In our go-to-market, we've gotten a lot of those initial 3,000 users just from earned media. Those users have come from across the country, all over, even as far as Canada, actually, just from the earned media we've gotten and the word of mouth. We're also relying on channel partners, which are organizations who are on the ground, who are in the community, involved with people doing a lot of this work in the manual way, right? So that's led a huge drive and interest. It's even built a pipeline for us to enter some enterprise avenues where we work with some organizations, some of the larger national organizations, and work out a licensing deal with them. So we're actually in talks with one of the largest organizations that works on criminal justice reform to partner with them and provide expungements for their members. I think they have about 300,000 across the country.
How long do you think it will take to get to each state? I have a brother that is having issues with needing to get something expunged, but just wondering if this is happening.
Yeah, so that's a great question. So we're in the process of expanding to 5 additional states now. We're going into California, Texas, Georgia, Illinois, and Maryland. Great thing, I just had a meeting with the dev team yesterday, and we've gotten our time down from maybe about 2 weeks for each state to about 3 days. So it's simply just, we're not rebuilding the platform, we're just modifying the workflows and working out the kinks and the specific requirements for each state.
I would say this though, Alabama is one of 2 states that do not offer record clearing services at all, but the other 48 states do offer some form of record clearing expunction or regular sealing. Me too.
You touched on this while you were talking, but how many Americans have records, and how does that data change year over year?
Well, there are estimates that range from 70 million on the low end to over 100 million on the high end. And so there was not a lot of data out there on how many amongst those were eligible for expungement. But me, with my domain expertise as an attorney and with some research that we did at different universities in New York while we were participating in the TechStars program, we estimated that about 35 million, up to half of those persons with records are eligible for expungement.
And how fast is that growing? How quickly are you replacing? When you expunge people, how quickly are people coming in for your future?
So it's we consider this an unlimited market, right? As long as the sun is shining, every day that we wake up somewhere in every county of every state across the United States, someone is having an interaction with the police. And many of those interactions are going to turn into expungement offenses down the road. And so we're really unique in that sense, in that every day this market is renewed. We'll never reach the bottom of it as long as they have handcuffs in the world, right? And so it takes us about an average of about 4 weeks from the time that a user pays to the time that that expungement has been signed off on. And then we also have an upgraded $500 service where we'll try to usher that through a little bit faster for users who need that right away. And what we have found is that more people are willing to pay that $500 ticket than are willing to pay that $150 price, because their pain is acute and they need that service right away because they're looking to get that new job, they're looking to get into that rent-to-own housing, or they're looking to get into professional school, and they're saying, oh man, I got arrested when I was in undergrad, I forgot all about that, I need to hurry up and get this off my record so I can apply to law school. So we find that people who come in, once they find us, they're willing to pay pretty quickly, and they're willing to pay that higher ticket price.
And how quickly can somebody get expunged?
So it takes an average of about 4 weeks.
No, but once if you've had an incident, it's on your record, how quickly can you apply to have that removed?
And so that depends. With misdemeanors, you can have it removed immediately, if you've paid your fines or whatever. And we do some felonies, low-level felonies, and with those there's a 5-year waiting period between the time that you finish probation or whatever it is and the time that you can get it expunged.
And those timelines vary slightly, state by state.
Per state, yes ma'am.
Quick question, curious from a competition and strategy perspective, why wouldn't the Morgans of the world, like those that already have this universe of national reach and deep legal perspective, why wouldn't they come in and take their lunch money on this?
Well, they would first have to build it, right? And I think that Morgan & Morgan is so much busy making money hand over fist with accidents that they're probably not looking in this direction. But we do look at Morgan & Morgan as a potential acquisition target. That's way down the road. We're not there yet, but we do see potential there with a company like Morgan & Morgan, and then we also anticipate in the future as we expand and grow into other avenues that we could be a competitor to Morgan & Morgan while we work on helping people to use our technology with processing their own soft tissue personal injury claims. But that's a little bit ahead of what we're here to talk about today.
Okay, that's all the time we have.
Thanks, Sean.
Okay, with that, the pitch competition is complete. We're going to announce the winner during the lunch in about 30-40 minutes. So please feel free to take your 5 minutes back. We'll see you at lunch. And we're really excited for Mary Wallace Hannon and the Regents Foundation to present the big check. So thank you very much for coming.